Get ready for an eargasm as you listen to unsolicited advice from that chick you know, and that chick you know would be me, India L. Trotter. Sit back, relax, and get ready for a full dose of real talk. Enjoy the podcast, and note, this podcast is for mature audiences only.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Microphone checker 1 2. Mic check. My mic sounds nice. Check 1. I know y'all are like, what is this fool doing? Listen, I have not been on air in like 2 weeks. So I gotta make sure my mic is right. My mic. You know I gotta get on the mic. Anywho, thank you for tuning in and listening to my podcast, Unsolicited Advice from That Chick You Know. And that chick you know, albeit that I'm stuffed up and can barely breathe, that chick you know would be me, India L. Trotter. You're like, what the fuck is going on, India? I'm like, my head is stuffy. I think I have the flu. I have a cold. I ran 10 miles in the rain yesterday. That's right. Holla at your girl who ran the Broad Street run here in Philadelphia. Yay. 10 miler. The biggest 10-mile run or race on in the continental U.S. I ran that shit. Albeit I ran it slow, but I ran it. This was my 9th year. For whatever reason, I'm missing a medal, but I think I'm missing a couple medals. But this is my 9th year running this shit. So I'm still trying to decide, now that I'm still in pain, whether or not I'm going to run it next year, just to make it 10 out of, 10 times I ran the 10 miler. We shall see, because right now, my ass is in pain. I can't move. So I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't talk, I can't eat. There's just a whole lot of shit going on. See, I turned 45 last week and it's been downhill since then. Like, life was just like, yeah, happy birthday to you, motherfucker. Basically. Like, whew. I wanted to say that it would be happy, but it was just rough. I mean, albeit I went to Vegas, one of my happiest places to be. I was in Vegas and I was sick. Luckily, I went by myself, because I could lay in a room and then chill. And then when I felt a little bit better, go on out and gamble and then, do what I do. Because, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And, which is going to lead me to one of my topics, not necessarily my topic today. But while I was out there, like, this one dude, albeit he was sexy, he was nice on the eyes. He was all up in my grill, all trying to talk to me, all trying to, figure out where my room was and whatnot. Luckily, I was gambling at a hotel that wasn't the hotel I was staying at. That's what you gotta do. You go to another hotel and you gamble. And then when they talk about coming up to your room, you be like, oh, sure, meet me in the lobby later. Needless to say, I'm staying in a hotel somewhere way far away from his ass. But anyway, this motherfucker was married. Like, you're married. You're here with your wife. And you're trying to come up to my room. No. Stop it. So I'm definitely going to have to do a podcast about these side jawns. And for those of you who don't know what the word jawn means, because that's a Philly word, Jawn. We use the word jawn, jawn, however you want to say it, to describe a person, place, or thing. So you just kind of slide that word in to replace a noun, a pronoun. Sometimes it can even act, no, I think just as a noun or a pronoun. Anyway, these side joints out here who are so eager to jump at the opportunity to deal with somebody, albeit that they have a wife or a girlfriend, you're making it hard on us chicks who have morals and standards. But that's a whole nother podcast. That's not the podcast I'm working on today. So anywho, I don't know how I digressed and got this far deep into a different story, but I turned 45 last week. My ass feels old. And albeit I look young, I just want to get that youthful feeling back. And, after running 10 miles yesterday, I don't feel so youthful. I feel a little broken down. So we shall see. I mean, I think I'm really just going to work towards get myself together. And I think it's time for me to just, Get me a new little friend. Get me a boyfriend. Not a boyfriend, because, I need a man. But don't make me laugh, because, you'll hear all the phlegm and the coughing and whatnot. But I just need to give me a little somebody. You know what I mean? But what I don't want, as I'm looking for these men, because, not that I'm on the prowl or the hunt or anything, but, you're out here, you're talking to men, you're meeting them, they're meeting you. You know, there's some things that some men do that really make me want to call them like a little bitch. And I'm not saying that they're bitches, but there's some bitch-like qualities that some of these men have that when you're trying to find a man, you're like, really? Is that manly? I don't know. It's a turnoff. So it made me reach out to some of the people that I know, be it in person and on Facebook, and ask them, what are some of the things that men do that make you want to call them a bitch? And I'm good for reaching out to the Facebook groups that I am an avid participant in, and there's two of them. Of course, there's East Coast Connection. Shout out to them. And then there's also another group, Mental Stimulation Research Library. That's a whole mouthful. Mental Stimulation Research Library. Just MSRL. That's who they are. So that's how, when you hear me say MSRL, that's what I'm talking about, the Mental Stimulation Research Library. But, I'm in this group as well, and we have some really good conversations. Of course, some of the conversations go left, but that's okay. There's some really good feedback to come from this. And, the ladies this time showed up and showed out in both ECC and MSRL just to, help me out and help me understand that I'm not the only person out here who sees some of these characteristics in these men and be like, these fucking bitch-like men. What the hell? So, anywho, without further ado, let's just jump into today's topic. I want to talk about some of the qualities that men have that they should step away from. Bitch acidness at its best. Let's step away from it, gentlemen. Nobody wants a bitch ass man. And here's some of the qualities that we see that will make us label you as such. It's one thing to be a petty woman, which is already bad in itself. But when you run across a petty man, that shit is a turn on. Like, men, don't get your panties all in a bunch and try to go tit for tat with another woman. Not even another woman, another person. Like, bruh, for real, chill. It's not that deep. And if you feel like you gotta be petty, then just walk away. Walk the fuck away. Like, I know I'm going to strike a chord and a nerve with some of y'all petty betties out here. But as a woman in the dating world, one thing that I don't want to hear is you complain about your baby mama, your ex, the child support you have to pay, what she's doing, what she ain't doing. I don't want to hear none of that shit. All that to me is petty. Like, grow the fuck up. Foster a better dynamic with your baby mama, your ex, or whoever it is that you got to foster a better dynamic with, and make that shit work. But don't talk about it in a petty way. Don't like a petty Betty. Don't. I don't like it. And you shouldn't either. It makes you look weak. It makes you look like a little bitch. Am I the only one? But I just can't take it when a man, especially a grown ass man, not only, like, it's one thing to chew gum, and you can chew gum, but do you have to pop it? Like, pop and blow bubbles? Like, what man fucking does this? Okay, maybe it's just me. One of the biggest bitch moves a man can do is participate in or be the source of gossip. Now, I had a lot of ladies on the post, because remember, if you go back to the beginning, I told you I took a poll. I always take polls. I was on Facebook, I took a poll on, and I mentioned MSRL, I mentioned ECC, and also Girl Teeny. I forgot to mention Girl Teeny. I took a poll and asked women, what kind of things make you want to call a man a bitch? And one of the things was gossip. Like, it's one thing, again, for women to gossip, but men? And gossip is bad all the way around. It's not cute to gossip, but then you got a grown ass man participating in this shit, and you're like, really? It's kind of like a bitch move. It's like, what the hell are you doing? You sitting there talking about what happened in somebody else's dynamic or relationship, or what so and so has on, or why do they have that on, or what they did and what they didn't do, and huh? Go sit down somewhere. Like, take your panties off and go sit down with the men and talk about some football and some shit. Talk about some sports. But don't come over into our little female dynamic talking about people or talking about shit that happened that you have nothing to do with. It's catty. It's bitchy. And why are you doing that again? Like, what man does that? I mean, I've had boyfriends where I've come back and tried to talk about some shit, and they have shut me down. Like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What you doing? We ain't talking about that. That's a man. That right there, that was a man. All that joining in and having something to say, that shit ain't cute. Just when you get ready to say some shit that sounds gossipy, men, just remember, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so some of the ladies hit me with they don't like men who got little side comments or mumble or say shit under their breath. I mean, who does? Because if you got something to say it. Don't be a punk. Say that shit. Don't walk past me mumbling or saying some shit under your breath. Like, set that shit off. You the man. You got something to say. Say it and say it assertively. Don't be walking around talking about this. Yeah, what the fuck did you say? What did you say? Oh. Say, let me stop. Oh, like, no. I'm all gangster with my shit. Like, but you gonna be gangster if your man is fucking mumbling, or if the man that you talking to is saying some shit under his breath. That makes you more gangster. Like, what, motherfucker? What you say? Because that makes you feel like he acted bitchy. That's a bitch move. Like, say some shit with some authority. Say it with your deep voice. Tell me, go sit my ass down. Be like, if you go sit your ass down. Say that shit out loud. Don't mumble that shit. I can't breathe and I can't laugh. You can hear all the congestion, but this shit is funny. Like, when women was writing it, I was like, what man mumbles? I guess I ain't never met him. Because all the motherfuckers that I've dealt with have told me to go sit my ass down somewhere. And they said that shit loud and with authority. And I was like, shoot, sat my ass down. Yup, don't mumble shit around me. Because you're going to get a whole lot of feedback. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know what the other woman said. Because I really don't know nothing about that. Now, I try not to talk about sex during this podcast because, sex really doesn't have a place in it. However, if you ask me to stick my finger in your ass, yeah. So, it appears that there are those men who seem to take longer to get ready than females. Like, it's one thing for you to be a little meticulous about your appearance. We want you to be that. We want you to take your time, gentlemen. But we don't want you to take more time than us. Like, it's one thing for you to make sure that your shit matches, because, that's important. Make sure that your hair is well groomed. But keep in mind that we as women, we got to put on makeup. We got to shave our legs and under our arms and, the hot spots. We got to do all that, but you don't. So it should not take you longer than it takes us females to get ready. And if it does, some of the ladies don't like that. They feel like that's kind of a little bitchy. Like, why is it taking you so long to put on a t-shirt and a fucking pair of jeans when, it should only take you 5 minutes? I mean, what do you have to do really? But hop in the shower, wash your balls, and throw some shit on. comb your hair, and then, maybe splash on some nice smell good.